Hello EFD squad and welcome back to the Euro Roundup. Joining me today for his season debut is Doug Guardiola. How are you this Monday morning?
Great to be back. Yeah, still riding off a high. Sunderland dispatched Rochdale at the weekend 4-1. Unlike you guys.
How have you got Sunderland into that intro
I know.
and ultimately Celtic losing to Kilmarnock? Doesn't matter. I bought tickets for the Europa League. I'm going to the RB Leipzig game.
Nice.
That's how I made up for that loss.
Brilliant.
But moving on. We have a talking point this week.
Yes, we do.
Normally that is just in winners and losers, but FIFA The Best is happening, which by all intents and purposes is just another Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, just a different version.
And rumour has it that Cristiano Ronaldo may not be travelling to the event, and a lot of people think that's because he's not going to win it.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people, mainly Adam Templeman, the clickbait king, that think it might reveal that it's rigged or that it's been leaked already, that Luka Modric will instead win. Yeah, the award's going on in tonight in London, and CR7 said he's not going to travel, and this is because Juventus played Frosinone yesterday, and they've also got a game against Bologna on Wednesday, so no Juventus players are travelling to the awards ceremony. But, Chris, it's obviously between Ronaldo, Salah and Modric.
Yeah.
Who would you want to win, and who do you think should win?
Who do I want to win? Is probably very different from who should.
Yeah.
I'd like to see, the days of attacking midfielders or midfielders in general winning these awards come back like Kaka.
Exactly.
So Luka Modric, I wouldn't begrudge him a victory at all. But looking at the numbers, it's pretty hard to see past Ronaldo, the Portuguese maestro, having another stellar year last year, albeit a slow start, but an extremely strong finish. So Ronaldo, 44 goals in 44 games, won the Champions League
campaign.
for the 5th time, scoring 15 in 13 games in all, and he got 4 in 4 at the World Cup, didn't he? Salah, 44 goals in 52 games, broke the Premier League goal scoring record, 11 goals in 15, helping the Reds to the final, and 2 in 2 at the World Cup in a very weak group, sort of with one shoulder still in place. But not quite enough for me. Not a trophy clinched in there, and most of this is based off silverware, isn't it? Modric, 33-year-old, played a key role in getting Madrid to the Champions League final, and he's been the fulcrum of that side for a long time now.
100%.
And he played exactly the same role in getting Croatia to the World Cup final. He was awarded the Golden Ball as the tournament's best player, and it feels, if he was to win this, like more of a lifetime achievement
rather
award.
than an outstanding season. Yeah.
Like when Scorsese won the Oscar for The Departed.
There we go.
He'd done better films
or when
before
Giggs
that.
won Sports Personality of the Year, age 43, with half a leg.
Yeah, a little bit like that. But with FIFA running the award, it will most certainly go to Modric. Just echoes of the World Cup. So yeah, it's going to be one of those two. But if Ronaldo doesn't travel, that's pretty damaging. That's pretty damaging for FIFA as a whole.
It won't look great when they announce it. And then,
no, I imagine. I don't know if there's any credence to this argument that just because he's not going, because they have a game against Bologna, that he's not going to win it.
No, I think that's just temps.
Yeah, but we're just obviously stirring the pot, aren't we? So
Exactly.
Who do you guys think should win it? Let us know in the poll just above. Normal service resume now. We're going into our winners and losers.
So it's time for our first winner now, and it came in at the suggestion of @Eredivisie Eric, and he says PSV. Why is that, Christopher?
Kevin Bacon vibes. Yes, because after a humiliating 4-0 defeat to Barcelona in the Champions League, PSV responded in the best possible way, smashing their title rivals 3-0. That is Ajax, by the by. They are now 5 points ahead of Ajax in the league after winning all 6 of their opening games and look on good form to retain the title. Now, Hirving Lozano, who was one of our picks for the World Cup, scored his 5th goal of the season already. He is starting as he left last season in scintillating form, contributing to a goal every 81 minutes, the Mexican. Ooh. Brilliant from him. That was the 2nd league game in a row that PSV beat Ajax 3-0, indicating their dominance over Erik ten Hag's side. Of course, the Ajax manager being promoted from within, but not having a very good time of it against the big boys. Now, maybe, I was going to say surprisingly, but maybe unsurprisingly, Ajax dominated possession-wise, but didn't generate very high quality chances, only having 4 shots to PSV's 8. And this has been a criticism by the purists of Ajax. Johan Cruyff put it in his book before he passed away that Ajax have sort of devolved from total football with this, forward-thinking football with a lot of impetus in it to having a lot of meaningless possession and passing the ball in a U shape. And their kind of ethos, their culture has eroded a bit. It's decaying a bit, isn't it? And it's continued in the early stages of the season.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, they've still got a very promising youth academy. De Ligt's come through there, De Vrij, Frankie de Jong.
Yeah, plenty of talent, yeah.
There's loads of talent coming through there. And we were talking about it in the office earlier, that the Eredivisie seems like quite a strange league at the moment. That there's the people at the tail end of their careers and very promising young players, and not really much in between. But going back to this game, it's a poor indication for Ajax of where they currently lie, and they actually haven't won a league title for 4 years now, while PSV have won 3 titles since then, which seems to suggest that there's been a bit of a power shift in Holland over the last 10 years from that Ajax domination. And Frankie de Jong, who I briefly mentioned there, who's been scouted heavily by Man City and Barcelona, had a bit of a shocker. He was at fault for the second goal, and he wasn't at it really. He only won 33% of his aerial duels and made just 1 tackle in the centre of midfield, so not a good day for him. And it was replicated by their most experienced player, their star man, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar up front. He scored 6 in 5 games in the league so far this season, but wasn't at the races at all. 0 shots on the day. And David Neres, again, one of their stars, summed up the Ajax performance. He took 0 shots, completed 1 dribble out of 3, and was dispossessed 4 times. So not a good day for Ajax, not a good day for their big main players either. But we want to hear from you. Where do you think the title will go this year? Is it PSV's to lose once again? Let us know in the comments down below.
Our first loser comes from Babado Grenz, and he's picked a hell of a game to cover.
Game.
It was Lyon versus Marseille. Ultimately, Marseille are our losers. I think you had it down as a score drawing contest.
Yeah, embarrassing.
Could have been further from the truth. I think I had a Lyon victory, so I've just about edged you, but I think I went for 2-1. It wasn't the case at all, was it? A very open game.
Yeah, Optadug once again with a horrible prediction. Yeah, they got beaten 4-2 away from home at Lyon with goals from Aouar, 2 for Bertrand Traoré, a Fekir penalty, and Thauvin and N'Jie scored for Marseille. It actually caps a really bad week for Marseille. We briefly mentioned it on that show. They lost 2-1 to Eintracht Frankfurt in midweek on Thursday in the Europa League, and they could have gone up to second with a win here. Instead, they are 5th, and they actually struggled to create chances, which is unlike them this season. They've actually started quite well. They had 9 shots, which isn't too bad, but they only got 3 on target. And the person with their most shots was their 24-year-old defensive midfielder, Morgan Sanson, which says a lot about how they were doing up front and working, as a cohesive unit. They were led the line by Mitroglou of ex-Fulham fame, and he didn't make a tackle, win an aerial duel, complete a dribble, and he had 1 shot, which was blocked. So really not a good day for the Greek. And to compound matters, they're going to be without their 22-year-old centre-back, Kaleta Carr, for a while. He joined from RB Salzburg, this summer for 19 million euros. And he was he was sent off for bringing down Bertrand Traoré when he's clean through on goal. He actually brought him down by his neck. It was not pretty.
He's really struggled since joining, actually, and he's definitely got potential.
Yeah, 100%, but not his day at all.
No, not playing anywhere near those sort of levels that are required. But Marseille, like you said, have had a bit of a strange season. Only PSG have scored more than their 16 goals in 6 games, but they've conceded 11, with only 10th place Nîmes and 20th place Guingamp conceding more. But yeah, superb from Lyon. Backed up that 2-1 victory over City in midweek with a dominant performance here. And shout out to Bertrand Traoré. He had a hand in 3 second-half goals. That's 2 goals, and he earned the penalty for Fekir to convert. Now, he was undoubtedly man of the match in this game. 3 aerial duels, 2 dribbles, 3 shots, 2 goals, and a massive 7 tackles from his right wing position. That was the most on the pitch. Depay was actually deployed centrally in this game, but he was working really hard down that flank. And he was supported ably by Fekir, as you imagine at this point. I've not seen him turn in a bad game for a long, long time. 4 tackles and interceptions, 6 shots, 2 on target. 1 goal and 1 assist from their linchpin. Next up, Lyon travel to 7th place Dijon this Wednesday. Marseille will try and get back to winning ways when they travel to 9th placed Strasbourg. Can you imagine Lyon winning the league over this PSG side? Or Marseille? Because I can't.
No, I can't either. But I think they'll definitely be the closest challenger. They've got quite a settled side. They obviously massive keeping Fekir in the summer. And they've started really well. They had a draw against Cannes in their previous league game, but then this massive win over Man City, and they looked really impressive in that game. They were right at it against Marseille, and it was 4-1 really until the final minutes when Ng got that sort of consolation goal. So no, they looked right at it. What about you?
It just kind of highlights what an achievement Monaco's league title was
100%.
2 years ago, because I just can't see anyone breaking PSG's dominance at the moment. They're just kind of the top clubs in France are picked apart. Not necessarily apart, but if they lose a key player here and there, it's going to be very difficult to mount a serious title bid. But Fekir staying at Lyon and them adding Moussa Dembele to their ranks could make a big difference. Yeah, I think they're probably going to be...
And the development of Bertrand Traoré.
The thorn in PSG's
really
side. Yeah, I actually think when they lost Mariano to Real Madrid, I actually thought he was their third, fourth best choice forward. So I don't think that's going to be a huge problem for them whatsoever. But what do you guys think? Who can actually challenge PSG? Because it doesn't look like it's going to be Marseille. Probably Lyon.
So our second and final winner is Ben Yedder, and this comes in from @FCB Barcelona, which is a disgusting name, makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Sort out that Twitter handle. And why are we talking about Ben Yedder, Christopher?
Oh, I love that. It's because he scored 3 and provided an assist in Sevilla's mental 6-2 victory over Levante away from home. This was pretty much a basketball game. It was all guns blazing, balls to the wall stuff. It was actually Ben Yedder's first start of the season. He's made 2 appearances off the bench prior to this, and he seized the opportunity fully, didn't he? 5 shots, 4 on target, 1 tackle, 2 dribbles, 3 goals, and 1 assist.
What a game.
Now, the other goals came from Carrico. I believe he was playing for Reading in 2013.
Love that.
And that's all I have on him. Valente Silva and Sarabia, and for Levante, Roger replied, and a Kia own goal went in the 90th to give them a little bit of a consolation goal at the very end. Now, it was a completely crazy game, like I said. 39 shots between them. An absolute orgy of shots. A bukkake of shots. Anyway, 20 on target, with Levante getting 11 to Sevilla's 9. How are you going to score 6 out of 9?
It's crazy. The Levante keeper, had an absolute shocker. He literally dropped the ball onto Ben Yedder's
Spillage
foot.
central.
Not good.
Although, Ben Yedder will get the headlines, but someone I've been a fan of for a long time made a significant contribution to this game. Pablo Sarabia was also immense. 3 assists and a goal for the 26-year-old, who's banging form. They were his first goal involvements of the season, but he's averaging 2.2 shots, 1.2 dribbles, and a massive 3.2 key passes per 90. That's the 5th best in the division at the start of this season. So he's maybe a little bit unfortunate not to have higher numbers, but I think that'll probably level out come the end of the season. But Sevilla, convincing win in the Europa, convincing win here, scoring freely. Pretty exciting team to watch at the moment.
Exactly. Just like Lyon, Sevilla have had an excellent week as well. But this game was like a FIFA game. 13 out of the 20 outfield players created a chance. 15 of the outfield players had a shot. I mean, it was literally everyone have a go. It was a complete free-for-all. And it was actually the first time in Sevilla's history that they've scored 6 goals away from home, so a nice bit of history for them there. And this was slightly unexpected. Prior to this game, they'd scored 4 goals in their opening 4 games. So to get 6 on this was completely mental. But the main reason because of that is because their finishing's actually been quite poor. They've averaged 15.8 shots per game, which is the 3rd in the league. But they've only managed to get 4.4 out of those on target. And considering that Andre Silva's played in quite well, Ben Yedder's clearly right at it, Sarabia's started really well, these are quite surprising numbers, and we expect them to probably level out. The key men in this game, so we've got to give a shout out to Levante left winger Morales. He had a really weird game. He made 2 tackles and interceptions, he had 2 dribbles, 4 shots, completed 100% of his passes, but he missed a penalty. When they were already, I think, 4-1 down at this stage, so it didn't...
Mixed bag.
Mixed bag indeed. And who I briefly mentioned before, Andre Silva, he started really well into his life in Sevilla. 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 aerial shot, 1 aerial duel, 3 shots, 1 goal, and the 22-year-old Portuguese now has 4 goals in his 5 La Liga games for Sevilla.
Good, he needed that.
Really nice.
I like him, and he had a torrid year, didn't he?
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think... But he ended up with about 10 goals in all competitions.
Yeah,
but
most
not
in the Europa League.
Exactly, not good enough. Not good enough in Serie A. But yeah, next up for these two, Levante play 18th place for Real Valladolid on Thursday. They'll be hoping to sort out that defence because literally they were everywhere in this game. And Sevilla host Real Madrid on Wednesday, which will be a cracker, hopefully. So yeah, how do you think Sevilla will do this year? Will it be another year of being around the Champions League places? And can Levante sort out that defence? Let us know, as ever, down below.
Last loser comes from Miles Stella, and he's put forth BVB.
Yeah, BVB drew 1-1 with Hoffenheim, and they got just their 4th point this season. It's not been a pretty start for Lucien Favre at all. They actually dominated possession, though. They had 60% possession, but Hoffenheim had 17 shots versus their 8 and put 5 on target to BVB's 2. So they should be delighted to get a point out of this game when they really didn't deserve it. And Zach, who wrote this section, he loves a little nugget of information to put in the script. And here's one for you now. Reece Nelson and Jadon Sancho, just last year, in March 2017, played each other for Arsenal and Man City's reserves in the Premier League, second tier, as it were, the reserve league. On Saturday, they faced each other in the Bundesliga as substitutes for Hoffenheim and Borussia Dortmund, respectively. So, those two young English players on the rise, clearly. Zach just thought we should let you know that. I think it's quite interesting too. Hoffenheim actually took the lead. They went 1-0 up through Joe Linton. The Brazilian 22-year-old is probably going to be Hoffenheim's best hope for goals this year. He took his goal really well on the day, sort of turning in the box, angled finish into the low bottom left, and that's his 4th in 6 games. So that's a really impressive start for a 22-year-old coming from the Brazilian league. Things, though, went from bad to worse for BVB. They then had Abou Diallo, who signed from Mainz this summer, I believe. He'd actually played okay up to that point. He made 4 tackles and won 2 aerial duels, but he was sent off for a straight red card. So yeah, not a pretty day for Dortmund, really.
And they owe a lot, don't they, to Roman Berkey, who kept them in this game with the stopper making 4 vital saves. Nice. Now, Pulisic, who has pretty much been Dortmund's saving grace this 100%. Season, levelled matters on the 84th minute with his only shot of the game. He also completed 4 dribbles on the day, really ramping those dribble numbers up. The American so far this season has played just shy of 200 minutes. He scored 3 goals, averaging a goal every 62 minutes.
Yes,
he also scored the winner midweek against Bruges, if memory serves correctly, after coming on from the bench. Now, Dortmund are 3rd still in the league. Such is the inconsistencies with sides at the top of the Bundesliga. Schalke had another terrible week.
Exactly.
And they finished 2nd last week. I think they got absolutely
really
smashed.
Stuttgart struggling.
Yeah, just any other team, barring Bayern, really struggling to find consistency. But ultimately, they're still 2 points behind Hertha Berlin or Dortmund and 4 points behind Bayern, and will face Nuremberg on Wednesday in the league. So have the chance to put things right then. But let's see how it goes, because they're a little bit thin up top and they've got a Champions League campaign to navigate as well.
Could be another season of struggle.
Yeah. Maybe not struggle, but maybe just another underwhelming season.
Yeah.
German football has been a little bit underwhelming for the last 3 or 4 years, hasn't it? But let's hope, they can really put a run together and change that. What do you guys think of Dortmund? Dortmund fans, what is the problem in your side at the moment? Let us know in the comments below. So that was Euro Roundup for another week, guys. And if you've not watched Winners and Losers over on Football Daily, please go and do so now. What else is there on Euro Football Daily?
Euro Football Daily, go check out Continental Club from Friday. It was me, Chris and Joe. Go check out Stat Wars from the weekend, the continuation of Stat Wars, the league. Can't remember who was in the second game, actually.
The second game was Kieran versus Dave, and the third game is
Zach. Is it Zach
Brothers
McCubbs?
Mondial, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Football Mondial morons taking each other on in the league. So go check that out later in the week. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know all your thoughts in the comments down below as ever. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Love that last minute burn.